Hi folks, hopefully a very quick video. So, yes, Man United beat Fulham 1-0 yesterday in injury time. I don't think that's going to have any impact on Ten Hag's future at United. Well, because the way they performed again was as poor and as dull as it had been. Quite clearly, Ten Hag is unable to help these players to perform at a better standard. Even now, on channels like United Stand, they're talking about the fact that Ten Hag did improve Dalot and Rashford and Wan-Bissaka. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. Rashford has a way, certainly Rashford, he has a way of... he'd play poorly for 18 months and then for a few months he'd actually play to the standard he should be. I think it's quite often when a new contract is due. Or the World Cup squad is being picked. He will suddenly up his game a tiny bit and start playing better. But as I say, with other players, suddenly things can just click, and then but once they fall again, they can't get it back. But that's when it's up to the manager to help them to do that. And Ollie was the same. Ollie couldn't do it. Ten Hag can't do it. Problem with Ten Hag is people saw him at Ajax and thought that he was the one who had basically put that team together. He was the one who had put that system together. He wasn't. No, he wasn't. So it wasn't down to him that Ajax was such a good team and their squad was so good and they'd been trained to that level. That wasn't him. He came in, he did his bit, he helped that to continue, but it wasn't all him. And yeah. But the problem is, this video is not about that. This video is about the fact that Ollie and Ten Hag, both of them, they were wanted by the club, they were wanted by the fans. Certainly wanted by the fans. And certainly with Ollie, he got the owners, he got the people in charge to change their mind. They weren't going to decide on a new manager until the summer. But because United were doing reasonably well with Ollie, they changed their mind and offered him a full-time contract. Yeah, around about April, didn't they? While they were offering him a contract, he had power. Same as every person does. Every person, when a contract is put before you to sign, you have power. If you're buying a new house, you have power because the person you're buying the house from, they want to sell. Right? Because they want to sell, you have power. You can demand they throw in this and they throw in that and they throw in this and they throw in that. Yes? You can demand that they get all the checks done and that if the guttering needs work, they do it. Anything needs to be done, you can demand they do it before you sign. Because you have power. If any employer wants to employ you, if you've got good past record in employment and they see that and they want you, if they're seeking you, you have power at that point until you sign the contract. Ollie had a lot of power, but he didn't use it. And pretty much as soon as the players knew that Ollie didn't really have any power, when things started going bad, they went against Ollie because they knew that they had power, but Ollie didn't. Okay, Ollie lost his job. Ten Hag comes in. What Ten Hag should have done, he should have spoken to Ralph and Ollie and Jose, because the team basically went against those three managers. Right? player unrest and the managers losing the dressing room. That's what we were told. Yeah, it happened. He should have had conversations, big conversations with those three. I don't believe he did. I believe Ten Hag is a very arrogant man. Now, I'm not saying that's necessarily wrong, because Alex Ferguson was a very arrogant man. Pep is going to be arrogant. Klopp is going to be arrogant. Wenger was arrogant. A lot of managers are arrogant. They have to be to get to where they get to. The problem is that arrogance gets in the way of them making wise decisions. Ralph Rangnick had done all the homework on the players. All the homework. As soon as things started going well, he forgot about the idea of maybe becoming the manager of Man United. He focused on his job was to do the homework for the next manager coming in. He still believed there was a possibility he would be director of football, because that's what he was told he would be. So therefore, he put everything together for the next manager to understand the problems at the club. Because he was saying it's not just plaster here or there, it's basically heart surgery that needs to be done. It's major. Major. So, there was two possible managers, Poch or Ten Hag. The fans wanted Ten Hag, therefore Ten Hag had power. He has a lot of power. Ten Hag should, because he already had a job. He didn't need the job at United. He had another job already. He should have gone to Woodward or Murtaugh, whoever was dealing with that, and said, I have to have the same degree of power and authority that Pep has at City. If I say that player comes in, that player comes in. If I say that player leaves, that player leaves. In the next transfer window, that player is gone. Because with Pep, for goodness sake, they just won the treble. Just won the treble. And he got rid of two of the main players that helped that club to win the treble. Right? United can't sell a player. They can sell youngsters. They can't sell any of their more experienced players. And part of the problem is that you've got people at the club where the club has made mistakes in the past and they're not willing to pay for them. The whole situation with Maguire is Maguire basically said, if you pay me 5 million, I'll leave. Because 5 million is you making up the wage difference. And the club said no. The club made the mistake of paying him such a high wage. But this is where, as I say, the manager, Ten Hag, has no power. Because he signed the contract before using his power. He assumed, wrongly, that the people running the club would have his back. And the people running the club would bring in the right players and get rid of the wrong players. He assumed, but he never made sure that that was in writing. He never made sure that that was part of the contract agreement. If that's the contract agreement, as soon as the club aren't doing that, he can speak to his lawyers and say they're not living up to the contract. Therefore, they either start doing that now or the contract gets cancelled and I walk. Problem is, again, because he didn't have that in his contract, he had no power. He had no power, he had no authority, and as soon as the players started to see that, yeah, his time is up. His time is up because, yeah, he came to a club where the players had the power. Instead of doing his homework, yeah. So he is now where he is. But hopefully the next manager who comes in will do his homework and will speak to the previous managers and will make sure that they use the power they have before they sign the contract. So this is the case with everyone who signs a contract. If you are desired, you have power. You either use it or you don't. If you don't, you can't complain about not having any power later. All the fans are talking about player power, and it's the Glazers or the players. They forget the manager had the chance to have that power and he gave it away. If that's the case, then that's down on the manager. That's his own thinking fault. He will die on his sword because of the fact he didn't make sure he had that power. But you come in, you've got to say, I need to have the same degree of power as Pep has at City, because it's the only way that the job's going to work. And yes, the club's going to get hurt by doing that, because they're going to have to let players go for very, very little and take a load of hits on players. Well, that's your own fault. You overspent in the past. When you look at Anthony's worth 25 million. They spent way over. Well, they're going to lose money. But okay. Then learn from it. Yeah, if you learn from it, you won't be making the same mistakes in the future. Okay. Good. That's going to benefit the club. Make it far easier to get rid of players that are the wrong players. So there you go. You take care. God bless. I'll speak to you soon. Have a fantastic week ahead. Bye-bye.